That's why I kept my head
I
down,
know.
because I know she was going to say something.
Rudy and I.
It is 7 o'clock. We do have a quorum. We'll call City Council meeting to order. First items on the agenda are the invocation given by Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Durham, and then the pledge of both the American and Texas flags given by myself.
Yes. Would you join me in a moment of silence? Thank you.
Will join me in the pledge of the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Presentations we'd like to make this evening. As you know, this is kind of the time of year where we have a lot of children going back to school, a lot of new activities starting up again for this year. So if I could, Chief Carter, I'd like to ask you to come forward with us. This is Steve Carter. He's with our fire department. If you come over here with us, Steve. I'd like to present you with this proclamation. Whereas the City of Louisville, Texas is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting our city, and whereas working with smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires by half, and whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will more likely to survive a fire, and whereas the Louisville Fire Department is dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fires injuries through prevention and protection and education, and whereas Louisville residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take personal steps to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes, now therefore I, Dean Euchert, Mayor of the City of Louisville, Texas, along with all members of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of October 9th through 15th, 2011 as Fire Prevention Week in the City of Louisville, Texas, and urge all citizens to participate in fire prevention activities at home, work, and school, proclaimed this third day of October 2011.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. Would you like to say a few words, sir?
I would.
I'm going to let Chief Carter say a few words.
Just real quick, thank you, Mayor, Council, and City Managers for recognizing this very important time of the year. The Fire Prevention Week is a week we take advantage of, and we reach out to all the citizens and business owners here in the city, and we try and alert them to the dangers and of the possibility of fire. We also celebrate this time with an open house there at the firehouse, which we had this past weekend. It was a very successful event. We reached out to a lot of children and adults. This time of the year, we also reach out to the children and get to them very early and try and teach them the importance of fire education into the schools. And we visit all 13 elementary schools with our clown program and many of our other outreach programs. So thank you, Mayor, for recognizing this time of the year, Fire Prevention Week.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Mr. Teddy Gibbs, could I ask you to come forward with me a minute, please, sir? We have this is Teddy Gibbs, and Teddy Gibbs is one of the directors in our Park and Recreation Department. And we have a very special presentation that we want to make tonight, and it's a little bit of a surprise for someone. But I'm going to ask Mr. Gibbs to go over it a little bit and tell a little bit of detail about this presentation we're getting ready to make, because he has worked hand in hand with this and with this individual. So, Mr. Gibbs, I'm going to turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. We had to kind of pull a disguise a little bit to make sure that Teresa Merrill was here tonight. So we are not reviewing the summer swim team program as was promised. The City of Louisville is a member of the Texas Amateur Athletic Federation, which is a group of mostly parks and recreation departments throughout the cities of Texas. They have a lot of programs for both youth and adults, including state championships and other things that are very valuable. One of the events that Louisville has partaked in for the last 20 some odd years is a summer recreational swim program. We have always had somewhere between 185 to 200 swimmers per summer, and they cannot swim in a year-round swim program. It must be a summertime program. So for the last 20-something years, we'll just say 20, Teresa has been a coach on this, in this organization. She has given many, many hours, tireless efforts, just, you know, whenever you need it. Yes, her daughters came up through the program, but she was here many, many years without any parental contribution, so to speak. She had loved this. She is passionate about this team. Obviously, she'll go to bat. She was ready. Had to give her family here to keep her from getting too excited, but I told her, whatever happens, let me talk first. So, again, not to belabor the point, but Teresa has been a member of our staff in the summertime for 20 years. Well respected around our region as well as our state. Lots and lots of kids have gone through the program. We do advertise, but we really don't have to. The word of mouth on this team is tremendous. We have had most of our coaches who have come up, usually are in the college age range. We pretty well have had 100% coaches who have come up through the program totally. So just a testament of our program. Like I said, word of mouth, and probably in Teresa's sake, probably for all coaches, but especially Teresa, when they do register every year, they say, is Coach Teresa coaching this year? And a lot of times it makes a difference of whether they want to swim or not. And our practices are at 6 a.m. to about 9 a.m., so there is some dedication there for both student and parent. So rambled on long enough. At the recent Texas Amateur Athletic Federation meeting in Lake Jackson earlier in September, Teresa was awarded the TAAF Contributors Award, recognizing it statewide in the TAAF or Texas Amateur Athletic Federation meeting. So this is a very prestigious honor. Doesn't just get handed out, but Teresa's, like I said, been in our program for 20 years, and we decided to try to, you know, make it worth her while. So I'll turn it back over to the mayor, but congratulations, Teresa.
Teresa, if you'll please come forward, if you'll step here with Mr. Gibb. We're sorry for the deception, but we did want it to be a surprise.
Oh, it definitely was.
Well, good. I'm going to give you a moment here to speak to you light in a minute, but I'll give you a few minutes to gather yourself here. While I just want to say personally, thank you so much. You know, it's so wonderful, and that's why it makes our city so great, is that we have so many people in our community like Teresa that are willing to step up for a particular cause, for a particular reason, and not just do it for a little bit or for just a certain time or any personal gain, but to do it just because she knows the need is there and she wants to see others get help, especially our youth here in our community. And as the mayor and on behalf of all the city council, I want to say thank you very much, and all the citizens of Louisville and all the people that you've helped over the years. Thank you so much for all you've done. I want to present you this plaque that's been awarded to you by the TAAF Contributors Appreciation Award, presented to Teresa Merrill, Louisville, in recognition of your commitment in promoting amateur athletics within the city of Louisville, your contribution of time, tireless effort, experience, expertise, and integrity as swim coach for the past 19 years, 20 now, has greatly impacted the swim participants of this City of Louisville TAAF swim program. Your understanding contributions are noted and greatly appreciated by the City of Louisville and the Texas Amateur Athletic Federation, year 2011. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's get a picture of you and your little friend. Would you like to say a few words?
Actually, I would, thank you.
Good.
It's never been a time where I haven't.
Well, that's good.
I want to say thank you for the award, and especially want to thank the city of Louisville because our program is the best in the state, and the city is so supportive. I couldn't have done this if the city hadn't been behind me all the way. Excuse me. This is my passion. Because of what I've done with Louisville and my school district, I've started a Learn to Swim program for teenagers that don't know how to swim. And it's the first in North Texas area. They just had a meeting where they talked about who was doing what for the youth of our state, and our schools and our city are the only ones that are really going out of their way to help any child that shows up at our door. And that's the way the city of Louisville is, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
We thank you. Next item is on the agenda is Visitor Citizen Forum. At this time, any person with business before the council not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the council. No formal action can be taken on these items at this meeting. We do have a very special group of young people here, I believe, is going to come with us. We have the Actors Conservatory Theater, which is located on 1720 South Edmonds here in Louisville. If you'd like to come forward.
Keep coming.
So, Mr. Mayor, council members, my name is Ray Kimbrell. On behalf of our director, our board of directors, our parents, our volunteers, and more importantly, our actors, what I want to do is thank you all very much for your support of the Actors Conservatory Theater, so that we can continue to bring these wonderful shows to you guys, support the children of Louisville and the local theater and the local area, as well as the community itself. So, with that, what I'd like to present to you is the cast of Honk. Now, may not have heard of the cast of Honk, but it's a play based on The Ugly Duckling by Hans Christian Andersen. It's the Olivier winner, Best British Musical in the year 2000. And just so you all know, it's going to be starting October 7th through the 16th, 4 shows each weekend. That'll be Friday, 7 p.m. on Friday and Saturday, and then on Sunday, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. on each weekend. And so we're all invited to come. The tickets go on sale 30 minutes before the show begins, and also you can buy the tickets online, okay? And so with that, what we'd like to ask your permission to, is to perform one of our songs from the play. And with that, if your permission, our director. So with that, as we did last year, we came here with our last play. If you remember what that was, remember what it was? The King and I. Very good. We have a free ticket for someone who can answer a question real quick. So anybody can tell me who wrote The Ugly Duckling gets a free ticket to the show. Can anybody tell me who wrote The Ugly Duckling? Not quite. I said it earlier. Hans Christian Andersen. Give this man a free ticket right here. Give him a hand right here. So what we'll do is I'll give you this poster, and you come to the show, any show you like, I will call. You'll have your tickets for you, and we hope you enjoy the show. And with that, Mr. Mayor, council members, we thank you all very, very much again for letting us allow us to come out here and take a few minutes of your time and show off our wonderful actors.
Well, I want to say before y'all leave, I want to say to all of you how thrilled and proud we are of you and how happy you make us and bring smiles to the face of other children in our community and to the adults in our community, and let you know that you are our shining star here in this community. And it's funny, but last week at our chamber golf tournament, I was sitting with Mr. Crawford, and Mr. Crawford is one of your biggest supporters. And he was just telling me how he works in the building there where you have your theater, and he was telling me how wonderful it is and how much he sees y'all come in and out of there with just smiling faces and always so excited, and you're having so much fun. Well, I want you to know you've brought some of that joy of your life into ours tonight, and we certainly appreciate it, and thank you very much for what you do. We appreciate you, and God bless each and every one of you. Did you
Thank you very much.
Mayor, before they leave, they might want to tell us when the show times are for Honk.
That's why you come. There you go. So it's going to be, they start the 7th would be the first show. The 7th of October at 7 p.m. will be the first show. All right, on Friday. And then on Saturday it will be 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. and Sunday 2 p.m. each weekend. Weekend the 7th and then next weekend after that. Okay? And we'll leave this poster here and go online as well to the to get into the act.org, and it's all listed there on the website as well.
Thank you very much, and thank all of you very much.
I also want to say that just recently, the Greater Louisville Arts Alliance just got up their website. It's called louisvillearts.org. You can find out this information online there as well and get all of the email addresses, or excuse me, the links to the different arts groups in the Greater Louisville area. So please visit louisvillearts.org. All right, come on.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Isn't it wonderful how nice and orderly and respectful they are? We need to remember that as we grow up, don't we?
Respect is one of the first bywords of theater.
That's right.
Respect.
Yes, they do.
And you're a theater boy too. This is Patrick Kimbrell, and also a theater boy. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you at the show.
All right. And next person that has a card filled out is Kashiva, and I'm sorry, Caldero. I'm sorry, I couldn't read your handwriting. I'm sorry. If you'd give me your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, my name is Shan Lakshmanan. We came as a group. Mayor and ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your time. I'm here today to fasten up the traffic light, to install a traffic light between Windhaven Parkway and Josie Lane. This has been we from Castle Hill North community. The community is almost filled up, so there are like a lot of people who've been traveling on that intersection every day and going to business and going to, shopping. And there has been increasing number of accident and no visibility while taking right, or no visibility taking left, and it's so hard to get around that intersection. Personally, I had an accident on Labor Day, September 5th. Luckily, I'm okay, but so that's kind of a thing, just keep it happening, and we would like to get the have the light as soon as possible, and that will reduce number of accident and free up the city cops and free up fire department, and it helped the Louisville city too. That's why we are here, and we are from Castle Hill community, Castle Hill North, and I appreciate really your help. If you guys can fasten up the things, that will be great.
Okay. I think our assistant city manager has some information for you there.
Yes, that
Push
two
button.
highways are
Push.
annexed by,
Push button.
oh, they are annexed, thank you, I'm used to being down there. They are annexed by the city of Louisville, so we are responsible for that intersection. And we have done a study, and that traffic light is warranted at that location, and we have been in contact with District 1A, and District 1A is required to pay us up front for that, and that's in process. Mr. Backus can actually give you some more details on that, but we are aware of it, and it is warranted, and we are moving forward with getting that done.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Here is a petition.
Okay. 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 Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, next item is consent agenda. All of the following items on the consent agenda are considered to be self-explanatory by the council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. For a citizen to request removal of an item, a speaker card must be filled out and submitted to the city secretary. Did not have any cards filled out, but I did have Councilman Grina ask us to pull item 8. So, Councilman Vaughn?
Mayor, I would like to make a motion that we accept the complete consent agenda minus item 8.
We have a motion by Councilman Vaughn to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 8.
Second.
Second by Councilman Gilmore. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8 is approval of a resolution authorizing agreements between the City of Louisville and Community Development Block Grant subrecipients between the City of Louisville and City Social Service Agency Fund recipients, and authorization for city officials to execute the agreements. The City of Louisville, a U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development entitlement city, has submitted its 2011 Annual Action Plan as required by HUD to receive Community Development Block Grant CDBG funds. A contract is forthcoming from HUD, and funds will be appropriated soon for the fiscal year 2011-2012. Additional funds are allocated from the general fund. Agreements have been prepared for the city manager to execute with each of the nonprofit entities for funds under the approved CDBG budget. Recommendation of staff is that the City Council approve the resolution and authorize appropriate city officials to execute the agreements as set forth in the caption above. Councilman Grina?
Thank you, Mayor. Reason I asked for the citizens, a reason I asked to get the item removed is because it's a paradigm on my part, our way of thinking and how we should spend money that we get in these grants. I've said it before, but I'm just going to quickly go over it because if you want to know more about it, you can either call me or visit my blog site, whatever. But basically, it comes down to, should the taxpayers be spending $35,000 to build someone a patio, or $170,000 to renovate training rooms, or make offices? And I wanted to make it clear, though, the parameters are very wide on how we spend this money. We can spend 100% of it, and to me, that is an extreme, 100% of it, on streets and curbs in an area that's low income. There's a lot of requirements, low income, if we could spend it all on sticks and bricks. And we're limited, the whole grant, the Community Development Block Grant Program, it has limits. You can spend up to 15% on social services. You can spend you can take up to 20% on administrative fees and costs. No reflection to any of the organizations that we're giving money to. They're all great organizations. But what it comes down to, should the taxpayers be spending that kind of money? And I just disagree in opinion. My fellow council members respect my opinion. I respect theirs. Someone may ask, well, John, if you're not going to approve it, what's going to happen? Well, if it didn't get approved, let's say it was 4-1 against it, well, then we'd go back and then we would reallocate the monies as this group sees fit. But as an elected official, to give approval on how this money is being spent, I have a problem with it. And that's why I'm voting against it. So if you want to know more, I do encourage you to call me, talk to me, but it's just a simple paradigm on what we can do. Now, these organizations, as I said, some of them we need to help. Some of them at the top of my list are the Denton County Children's Advocacy Center, CASA. A lot of those organizations, they offer a service that if they weren't here, we would have to hire employees in the city to fill those positions. Again, these organizations, even the ones that we're talking that I kind of mentioned here about patio and stuff, they're good organizations, but it is a business. Private, profit or nonprofit is still a business, and I have a problem with giving money to increase their property value or whatever you want to call it. They still need it. They do need to do those things, but should it come from the taxpayers? That's where I have a problem. Anyway, good organizations, as I said, I'm repeating myself, and I do appreciate it. Thank you. Move to, I guess, since it would be in the negative, I'll move to approve, but I'm voting against it.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilman Guerrero, a second by Councilman Durham. Any discussion?
I do have a question. Councilman Guerrero, did you vote for or against when we approved $90,000 for building part of the Children's Advocacy Center?
Well, that was 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. I think at that time I did vote. I can't remember. I know I was speaking up against things, but
would that $90,000 for sticks and bricks for a not-for-profit?
If I had been,
would you have
if I had
approved it?
been aware of that's what it was, going into the deepness of it, I probably would have voted against that also.
Okay.
But again, this is now, and I'm looking at these situations. All these 15 or whatever, how many contracts that we're approving tonight, I don't even know what the total number is. There's a bunch of them. I don't have a problem with some of those. But I do have a problem with some. It's just how the money is being spent. I just think that the money would better go to, we have projects that are going to be going on in these low-income areas, streets and curbs, and we know that they need to be done sometime. Well, CDBG money is going to go away someday. We might as well use it as we get it for the things that we feel best as a body. And the council as a body is about to vote in favor of passing these with one negative vote, which is me. And that's fine. I'm a team player, but I have to vote the way I feel is right. Thank you.
Just a quick.
Sure.
A lot of these organizations provide essential services for residents, not just law enforcement services, but for example, day stay for adults. I don't know if you've ever been a tweener and had to take care of an adult.
Yep.
Very challenging situation, and we've had lots of residents who've asked for that, and the state has mandated that patio be part of what they need to support elder or adult care, adult daycare for want of a better term. CCA has a large facility. We're expanding some of their medical facilities, and I don't know about you, but I've been hit by the downturn in the economy. I have lots of friends and neighbors who have been hit by the downturn in the economy and have been able to access organizations like CCA and PD Place. Now, we can make the argument about where it should be spent on the spectrum of things, whether it should go into curbs and gutters. We've tried curbs and gutters in some of the neighborhoods and actually weren't able to get the right-of-ways from those neighborhoods. So that's been a challenge historically, having served as the chair on the CDBG. That does create some challenges. You can't always just dump money where you'd like to. You actually have people's decisions have to be made in there. So it's always a balancing act with CDBG between the social services and the sticks and bricks. I've been proud of my time on the CDBG. I believe it's a very conservative way to spend money and to provide resources for the residents, especially based on feedback of community services that we get.
To answer your question, yes, my father-in-law, we had to put him in a nursing home until he died, and we did take care of him for a while.
Councilman Vaughn, did you have anything?
No, Mayor.
Okay. Just, I will say also, just to reiterate that Adult Day Stay does do a tremendous service for our citizens here in the community. The covered shaded area, the patio that Councilman Brennan is referring to, is required by state law, so they were asking for some funding to help to assist to have that for these people. And then Christian Community Action, CCA, as Councilman Gilmore, is also trying to improve some of their facilities over there for different reasons of their training facility. They are both, I think, excellent social service agencies here in the community. So with that, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Item number 9 is consideration and declaring a vacancy on place number 2 of the Louisville Parks and Library Development Corporation and consideration of appointment to fill the vacancy on the Louisville Parks and Library Development Corporation. Due to the passing of Mayor Pro Tem David Thornhill, a vacancy now exists on the Louisville Parks and Library Development Corporation. The articles of incorporation for this board state that the board of directors be composed of 7 persons appointed by the city council who are residents of the city, and that no more than 4 of the 7 members may be city employees, officers, or members of the city council. Currently, the members serving on this corporation are Ken Judkins, Jeff Peltier, Dean Euchert, Rudy Durham, Lathan Watts, and Doug Killow. When this corporation was first formed, the city council wanted to have 4 council members serve on this corporation. Staff strongly recommends appointing another city council member to fill this vacancy. I did talk to Councilman Grennan, and he did say, I did ask him if he would show interest in serving, and he said he would consider it. So that would be my recommendation. Councilman Durham?
Mayor, I'd go with your recommendation and declare a vacancy, and that we appoint Councilman Garina to the position.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Durham, a second by Councilman Gilmore. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 10 is consideration of acceptance of the resignation from Doug Welch as the Medical Center of Louisville representative position on the ad hoc I-35 Corridor Plan Advisory Committee. Declare a vacancy exists and consideration of appointment to fill the vacancy. Doug Welch, Chief Executive Officer for Medical Center of Louisville, was appointed to serve as the hospital's representative on the ad hoc I-35 Corridor Plan Advisory Committee in May 2010. He has submitted a letter of resignation effective immediately from this committee as he has accepted another position. Rob Del Bernardo, Assistant Vice President of Facility Operations for Medical Center of Louisville, has submitted an application to serve in this position. Recommendation is the City Council accept the resignation, declare a vacancy exists, and consider an appointment to fill the vacancy of Medical Center of Louisville representative position on the ad hoc I-35 Corridor Plan Advisory Committee. Councilman Grena?
Thought you were going to call Vaughn on that one, sir. I move to approve the resignation of Doug Welch and recommend Rob DiBernardo for that position.
I second that, Mayor.
We have a motion by Councilman Gilmore to accept. I have a, I'm sorry.
Garina.
What did I say, Gilmore? I said Councilman Grena.
They're both G's. It's okay.
I apologize. Councilman, have a motion by Councilman Garina, a second by Councilman Vaughn. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration of a resolution nominating candidates to the Denton Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. The Denton Central Appraisal District has requested that the city nominate up to 5 individuals to serve as the DCAD Board of Directors prior to October 15th. After all entities have made their nominations and votes have been cast, the 5 candidates that receive the most votes become the Board of Directors as of January 1st. Board members serve a 2-year term. All board members are up for re-election and wish to be re-elected with the exception of Lee Baker. Denton Central Appraisal District's current board of directors include Michael Rowe, Steve Mossman, John Mahalik, Rick Woolfolk, and Lee Baker, and Charles Stafford. Recommendation council approve the resolution as set forth in the above caption.
Mayor, I'll be abstaining on this. I'm employed with the appraisal district. And on number 12, I'll be abstaining on that also because it refers to Dallas Central Appraisal District, and I work directly with them.
Thanks, sir. Okay, Julie, was one of those names that I read, did you also say that they had decided not to re-up?
I'm not sure which one.
That's correct, Mayor. It'd be Michael Rowe.
Michael Rowe. Okay, so on that information I just read you there, council, if you'll notice there, Michael Rowe has also decided he does not wish to be reelected to a 2-year term. So the 4 people that wish to be reelected would be Steve Mossman, John Mahalik, Rick Wolford, and Charles Stafford. The only person that I have had from the city of Louisville that had any conversation with that would be interested in serving on this is it is a very time-consuming and important, while it is a very important board, it's a very time-consuming and challenging board to serve on. It does take a lot of time commitment, but Betty McCrary has asked that or said that she would be willing to serve on this committee. She does live here in Louisville, been a long-time citizen here in Louisville, served on the school board for a number of years, and has been very involved in the community. And with that, Councilman Gilmore.
Move to accept the resignation of Lee Baker and Michael Rowe, and to appoint Betty McCrary as, or nominate Betty McCrary as a replacement for one of those seats. Also move to re-nominate all of the folks that had asked to remain. So that'd be Mossman, Mahalik, Woolfolk,
And
and Stafford.
Okay.
That's a lot of names.
Yeah. Okay. We have a motion by Councilman Gilmore.
I second that motion.
Have a second by Councilman Vaughn. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 12 is consideration of a resolution nominating a candidate to the Dallas Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. The Dallas Central Appraisal District has requested that the city nominate one individual to serve on the Dallas CAD Board of Directors prior to October 17th. Each of these cities, with the exception of Dallas, which is on its own appointments one member, shall, from the nominations received, be elected by majority vote, with each city being entitled to one vote, a member of the Board of Directors. Recommendation is council approve the resolution as set forth in the above caption. Councilman Vaughn.
Mayor, I recommend that we approve the recommendation of the resolution.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't have anybody come forward and want to serve on this. You do have to live in the area. We do have a very small piece of the city that is down in Dallas County, and there's no one that lived down there that wanted to serve on that. So with that, I did have a motion by Councilman Vaughn to approve. Caption above.
Excuse me, Mayor, the resolution would need a name, so there's nothing to approve without a name. You can just take no action.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to take no action since we don't have anybody to nominate.
Motion.
Let's just see if there's a second to Councilmember Vaughn's.
Is there a second,
motion.
Councilmember Vaughn? Hearing no second. If there is no further nomination, then we take if there is no further, tell me what's the word?
Action,
Nomination.
If there is no further
discussion.
motion, thank you, good day, Lord. If there is no further motion or discussion, we'll just take no action on this item. Hearing none, there'll be no action taken on this item. Thank you, council. Okay, Councilman Durham, you can come back in now. We're going to go down to reports. Nika. Bob? Chief? How did the open house go? Sorry I was out of town, but I heard it went wonderful.
Well, I just wanted to tag on to Chief Carter's comments about open house and let you know that it was another successful event again this year. The weather cooperated with us. It started at 10 and ended at 3, and we had a steady stream of citizens with their kids come through all day long. A lot of positive comments from those in attendance, and I believe we were able to reach out to a lot of new people that attended this year, as well as we had a lot of repeat attendees. And that's always nice to hear, that we have people that are bringing their kids in that are now 9 and 10 years old, and they tell you that they've been bringing them since they were in strollers. So that's letting us know that our event is successful and they enjoy coming back every year. So a great event again, and I believe Councilman Gilmore was there. I appreciate seeing you there.
It was a great time.
If anybody else was there and I missed you, I apologize. I didn't get there till after the event started. But again, it was a good event this year.
Well, thank you, and I want to thank you again for the job you're doing, stepping right in and doing a great job. I'm hearing nothing but good things. We appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
You bet. Linda? Chief Kerbal?
No, sir.
Harold, how's it going out there, the lake?
Well, we're officially 6.3 feet low, and to put it at 515.6, and to put it in perspective, the last time the lake was this low was January the 20th, 2007. So
Wow.
we've either been at conservation or right below since 4 years now. So it's we're seeing it go down. It's a trend.
I was down in Waco this last weekend, and there was talking with some people from the agriculture department, and they were saying that they were predicting that this drought could go through 2020. So this can be probably could be one of the worst droughts Texas has seen. So everybody remember that and conserve the water with the can. Mr. Conkey.
Yes, Mayor and Council, I'd like to just share a very brief recap with you on the Western Days Festival that was held a little more than a week ago, and we survived it. And we would, at this point, register it as a success. First, thank you for your support. I believe I got a chance to speak with each of you during the festival. Hope you enjoyed it and got some good feedback. Some preliminary numbers. Our count for attendance comes out to 24,630, which is slightly higher than the most that we've had since the festival was brought back by OTBA in 2004. We'll call it a record, even though back when it was a week long, we really don't have any clue what the count was. So 24,630, we're very pleased with that. That is considerably higher than last year. That's about 50% increase over last year. In terms of revenue, there's still a couple of revenue counts we have not yet received. But from what we have already got reports on, revenue to the city on this one is almost $73,000. Last year was a little less than $61,000. So increase of $12,000 with a couple of revenue sources still coming in, mostly attributed to the increase in attendance, partly also to the fact we got a 30% commission rather than 20% on the alcohol sales this year. So overall, we felt it was a successful event, a lot we can learn from to make it better, and again, thank you for your support.
Well, thank you and appreciate you and all your staff for what a wonderful job. I just heard nothing but just excellent people. Once again, I was out at the Chamber's annual golf tournaments here. Talked to 3 different people. One was from Cleburne, one was from Grand Prairie, and one was from South Lake. And they had all come to it. They heard about it on TV, knew to print off their tickets. They said, yeah, they saw it advertised, printed off, everything came. And they came and stayed in town during the day, saw the car show, went and ate at another restaurant somewhere and came back. And just loved it and stayed all night, and they just loved it. So it was great. So they stayed here in the city on Friday night and Saturday. So it was great. Brenda? Mr. Ferris? Mr. Backus? Councilman Durham?
Mayor, last Thursday I attended the Heroes of Denton County award ceremony at Texas Motor Speedway. It honors the police and firefighters within Denton County. They had a speaker there from speaking that was in the 9/11 in that went up in the World Trade Center as a firefighter, and lived to tell about it. So that was an interesting part of the deal. Louisville was well represented. We didn't have any awards to it, but some of the cities around us did receive those, and those folks were. It was well worth the deal being there to see them be recognized, even the ones who didn't get the final reward there. Thank you.
Thank you for attending that, Councilman. I sure appreciate you doing that. Councilman Brennan.
I know it slipped the police chief's mind, but Tuesday night is National Night Out. He's tired. I can see it in his eyes.
Tuesday night is National Night Out, and what we're encouraging is all of our Crime Watch captains to organize outdoor events
to encourage folks to come out and either join Crime Watch or get to know their neighbors and improve the crime prevention efforts throughout the city. Thank you, Councilman Grenna, for
No
mentioning that.
problem. I'm looking forward to riding out with you guys that night.
Thank you.
This weekend was a very busy weekend for Louisville residents and stuff. I was out of town in the Metroplex area at a Wounded Warrior gun match, benefiting the Wounded Warriors. And I'll tell you what, man, I have never seen such a great sport with a bunch of great participants. A lot of them from Louisville. I was surprised how many Louisville residents went to that. Had a great time. Thank you.
Councilman Gilmore.
This Friday, October 7th, 5 to 7 p.m., LHS Homecoming. It's supposed to be a big parade this year. They're going to be doing some stuff out here in front of City Hall. I expect to see, I think city staff has a float coming in, doesn't it?
That's correct.
We got, what, about 60 LHS graduates that actually work for the city?
That's correct.
So looking for a great time and some great community spirit.
When is the parade?
I've just got 5 to 7.
You have the time.
Thursday,
Friday, the 7th.
Thursday at 6 p.m. Sorry.
Thursday.
Thursday, 6 p.m. Thank you.
This coming Thursday, October 7th, right?
October 6th.
October 6th. The 7th is the actual homecoming game.
Sorry about that. October 6th.
My bad. I didn't realize they were on two separate. Perfect. Thursday night's the parade. Friday's the game.
It's going to take 2 days to get over the bridge to go back towards the house.
Most likely. That's all I have, Mayor.
Ms. Barron?
No, sir.
Councilman Vaughn?
Mayor, I had a wonderful time this weekend. Saturday, I attended a historical marker that was placed out at the Hebron A train station. And I had never attended an event like that. And it was pointed out to me that most historical markers have to do with something dealing with, you know, some kind of tragedy, a war or a battlefield or something like that. Well, this historical marker was placed there because of a concert that maybe some of you attended back in 1969, and there were 150,000 people in Louisville for this concert. And it was 2 weeks after Woodstock in New York, and I was blown away. There were people there that had actually attended it. I met a woman who told me that she ran away from home at 14 to attend this concert. And I thought that was terrific. Her husband was all apologetic because he hadn't got to Texas yet, but had he been there, had he been in Texas, he would have been there as well. It was just a wonderful event, and I suggest that maybe if you have the time to go and take a look at this marker. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, I am told that Councilman Durham attended this pop festival as a very, very small child.
That is true.
Yes.
I went with my parents, believe it or not.
That is hard to believe. I see your dad down there. That'd be something.
Wait, that 1969? You were a small child then?
I was 13, it wasn't small.
Counselor? Julie?
I was 7.
Officer, we want to thank you very much for being here tonight, sir. We appreciate you and appreciate all that you do each and every day. Thank you very much. Okay, with that, in accordance to Texas Government Code Subchapter D, Section 551.072, Property Acquisition, and Section 551.087, Deliberation regarding Economic Development negotiations, will convene into closed session. Oh, it is 9:05.
Yeah,
I was looking at the
9:05.
bottom up and down. I missed that side. Okay.
Rangers
Yeah.
won?
Rangers won.
Cool, cool, cool.
Are they up 2? 2-1 now?
What's that up there?
Is it 2-1? Yeah, 2-1.
Oh.
Rangers. What is this?
Is it football season?
It's baseball.
I'm joking.
It's always
Okay, we'll convene back in regular session. Is there any actions to be taken, council?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion to adjourn by Councilman Grenna, a second by Councilman Gilmore. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.